intermittent fasting. You have probably heard some in the news and in media about it, and it is becoming a very popular trend. So let me give you the quick and dirty on it, and then when you want additional resources, I'm going to provide those. Those resources will be from things that I've written, from things I've tested, but also other people. So if there are 12 people doing something as opposed to one, maybe there's validity to it. So I will provide extra videos, including YouTube. I will provide podcast links and some written documentation. So if you're really interested in intermittent fasting, you'll have the resources to do so. What is intermittent fasting? Well, very simply, it's an eating window. So it's an eating window that you already do right now. You already fast. Did you know that? You fast probably from the time you go to bed, which is, 10 o'clock. And then you fast until breakfast. That's why it's called break fast. You probably already go 12 hours without eating food. Maybe you finish dinner at 7 and you don't have your first meal till 7. Congratulations, you're already fasting. The goal of intermittent fasting, as it's being understood right now in the community, is to get you into nutritional ketosis. Ketosis, without getting super sciencey, is basically getting your body to use fat as fuel. You want to be a fat burner versus a sugar burner, right? Say yes. Yes. Okay. So why would you want to be a fat burner versus a sugar burner? You're smart. It creates metabolic flexibility. What does that mean? It means that your body learns to use the fat as fuel versus sugar, because you're going to start to give it less sugar. Intermittent fasting can be done, I'm going to give you an example, in a 16-8 window, meaning you eat for 8 hours, maybe from noon to 8 p.m., and then you fast for 16 hours. You don't consume food or calories. And the things that helps with beyond becoming a fat burner, which is the number one thing, is that it resets your hormones. It will reset ghrelin, leptin, insulin. Ghrelin is letting you know when you're hungry, so it'll reset that so that your ghrelin hormone is actually a little bit more accurate. Instead of ghrelin just saying, give me sugar, it will actually go off when you're actually hungry. Leptin is when I'm full. I think I've shared in previous videos that my husband's leptin is totally shot. He doesn't know when he's full, and he'll just eat and eat and eat. He makes jokes about the different compartments in his body, and really that's just his leptin being burnt out. And then insulin, your blood sugar. You want to create a more stable blood sugar. So you don't want to be driving off the road, going to Tim Hortons or the grocery store to grab some sugar because you went like this out of the blue, okay? So we no longer eat every 2 hours. We now know that actually makes our blood sugar go like this. And while it sounds cute to keep the log on the fire, it actually is hurting you. So if you eat every 2 hours, you're a sugar burner. You don't want to be a sugar burner. You don't want to be chained to having food every 2 hours. You don't want to be committed to that because you want to be a fat burner. You want to be able to go 4 to 6 hours without eating and it not be unbearable, if you will. So when you get into ketosis through intermittent fasting, you will actually be able to go 4 to 6 hours and have more energy. Now, doesn't that sound great? I know you want more energy. When you use fat as fuel, you have more energy. And if you don't believe me now, you will when you start intermittent fasting. Autophagy. I've mentioned this before. Autophagy, again, I'll make things simple. It's your good cells eating your bad cells. So it's like programmed cell death. And you want your good cells, right? You're smart. You understand that you want good cells in your body, not bad cells. You want the bad cells out that are creating inflammation, that are creating an unhealthy gut. We'll get into leaky gut later. And you want good gut health because that also helps with your hair, your nails, your skin, things like that. Intermittent fasting also helps with your budget. You're not consuming as much food, which means you're not spending as much money. Leads me into time. Oh, my watch is saying I've already been talking for 5 minutes. Let me see if I can wrap this up. You are not cooking as much because you're not eating as often. And then finally, if you're traveling, you won't have to worry about crappy airport food because you can fast. All right, who should do fasting? Well, you have to have a good relationship with food. If you have a history of anorexia or bulimia or other, I'm gonna say negatively harmful feelings around food, we should talk, or you should talk to somebody who's licensed, certified, dignified about this before you get into it. Because fasting is incredible, but you can get to a point where you become a little bit too obsessive. So if that's your personality type, we should probably make sure that you have good boundaries and safety nets around you before you try this. And then, do you have any other health conditions? If no, have at it. If yes, talk to your doctor. How do you do intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting, like I told you at the beginning, you're probably already doing it. You want to wake up tomorrow morning, literally tomorrow, and I want you to delay your meal by 1 hour. If that's too much for you at this point, maybe do a half an hour. And then you work your way up to when you have gone 16 hours without eating food, and that includes creamer in your coffee. Sorry, no creamer in your coffee because that has calories and sugar in it. After you've broken your fast, you can put some creamer in your second cup that you probably have around 10 or 11 o'clock. Okay. Once you get to the 16-8 window, congratulations. You need to celebrate that. You need to applaud yourself. You need to feel good about that. Your next question is, how many days in a row do I do that? I can't answer that for you. And the reason is you have to put your detective hat on. You have to experiment with what works for you. I'll give you an example. You're probably going to ask me, how long have I been doing it? I've been doing it for 8 months now. And when I first started it, I was able to go 6 or 7 days in a row with fasting and feel good, high energy, because I was doing it, let's just say I had high energy. All right. Now I go about 3, 4, maybe 5 days. And I usually go about 2 days, and then I break the fast. Maybe I go 3 days and I break the fast. And by break the fast, I mean I eat after 12 or 14 hours. I try to still keep my eating window within 12 to 14 hours if I'm breaking the fast, because then it gives my digestion time. My belly gets to rest. So on Mondays and Tuesdays, for example, I won't eat until about 12 or 1 p.m. and then I'm done teaching late at night, so I'll still eat at 8:30 at night, and then I'll do that Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, I wake up and I make Skylar and I breakfast. It's usually protein pancakes or eggs or a protein shake, and I do eat with her about 8 o'clock. I usually finish a little bit earlier that day. So when I teach Wednesday night, I've probably eaten my last meal before I go to class. And I'm not super strict on Wednesdays. Whenever that last meal is, that's the last one. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I might fast until 12, 1 o'clock. And then Sundays, I make breakfast for our family. So whenever that happens, that's when I eat. And I just eat normally, like 3 meals on Sundays with my family. I'm trying to keep this really brief. I know I went over 5 minutes. I am gonna post the video that I made of intermittent fasting. The first round of Drop Your Pants, I covered a couple other things like products and whatnot that can support your fast. So I really encourage you to listen to that when you can, after you listen to this video. Here's your takeaway assignment. Tomorrow, wake up, extend your first meal by half an hour. Just wait a half an hour. And then the second day, it's an hour. Third day, it's an hour and a half. And work your way up to a 16-hour fast. All right? I'm going to be checking in with you. Post your questions. I can come back on today with question answers. We can have a conversation. I will turn the phone around. I can't see the screen right now, so I can't see if you have questions. But I'll look at them literally as soon as I stop here and answer anything that you'd like to know. I'm going to throw a ton of resources at you in this group for intermittent fasting within the next hour, so be prepared. Let me know how I can help you. I love you. I mean it. Bye.